Hello everyone, welcome to the Whistling Hermit's One Card Spread series. Note that this video is divided into three parts. A short introduction, which we are doing right now. Part 1, which is a descriptive study of the card for the day. And Part 2, which is a reading from the Handbook of the Tarot of A.E. Waite from AGM Urania. If you want to navigate directly to any of the three parts mentioned, just click on their respective links at the timestamp provided in the description of this video. This video series is primarily intended for learning how to read the tarot. However, you can also use this as a card reading for the day. This is a timeless reading, so if you are watching this now, its message might be for you. In this series, we will be using the Giant Rider Waite Tarot deck. We will also be using the Handbook of the Tarot of A.E. Waite from AGM Urania. The first part of the video will be a descriptive study of a specific card in the tarot. We will describe what we see and the insights and feelings we gather from what we see. Now, the first part is characterized by spontaneity. We allow the cards to speak to us regardless of the generally accepted meaning of the card. By doing this, we hope to increase our intuitive capacity for reading the tarot cards. In the second part, we will be reading the description of the card taken from the booklet of the Tarot of A.E. Waite by AGM Urania. If you intend to use this as a timeless reading, you can randomly choose any card in the series that resonates with you. An alternative approach is to shuffle a Rider Waite Tarot deck and pick a card randomly. You can then choose the card in the video series that corresponds to the card you picked. Note that this series is a work in progress and it might take some time for the 78 cards to be completely read. So, without any further delay, let us proceed to the card for the day. Welcome to part 1 of our one card spread series, and our card for today is the Seven of Cups. Okay, so this card is a little bit strange, no? Usually we put wine or beverage or water in a cup. However, in this card, all the 6 cups have plants that are flowering in it, and there is a white flower in it. No, sometimes white symbolizes purity. Maybe, yeah. I mean, in reality, we seldom put plants on a cup, except when the cup is no longer functioning its purpose as a cup. So sometimes we make it a container for plants. No, but this suggests having plants on the cup can suggest that it is not really actual, that the situation can be a reminiscence of sort of like a reverie on the part of the person. It could be sort of like a person daydreaming, no? Because it has flower. The cup with the flowers can symbolize a cup filled with love, with devotion, with pure intentions, because the flower is white, no? And if we try to look at it, it's very, very interesting. This boy or male energy giving a cup with flower, white flower, to a girl. And it's in a village, and the sky is very clear. So it's like, many people refer to this card as sort of like a card of reverie, looking back to the past. And when you look at it, the sky is clear. So it's as if the person who is thinking back of the past is thinking of the good times, where everything is blooming with flowers, and love is given with pure intention, maybe given unconditionally. No, a higher form of caring. Children have a tendency of yes, has the capacity of giving love unconditionally also. When sometimes when they love intensely to the point of trust and everything. They trust intensely and everything. And then so there's this capability of giving unconditional love. And somehow maybe the person who is looking back to the past is looking back to a time when one can give love unconditionally. Now, it's interesting that the Six of Cups speaks of love, relationship, just as the number 6 of the Major Arcana, the Lovers, also speaks of that. And it also suggests unconditional love. And somehow here, it's a reminiscence of a time when the person was giving unconditional love to somebody. Now, when you look at it, at the card before that, card number 5 shows the two cards before that, card number 4 and number 5, shows a person who is discouraged with love. For example, let's go first to card number 4. When you look at card number 4, now this person is watching 3 cups, as if he's not satisfied with the 3 cups. And because he's not satisfied with the 3 cups, he could not see the new cup that heaven is providing him, universe is providing him. He is disappointed with the cup that he received. When you look at the next, which is the 7th card, the 5th card, which is the 5 of Cups, we look at the person further becomes in despair, because the cups are also have fallen down, and whatever is in the cup has already been emptied, and we see a person who is in despair, and it is but natural for a person who is in despair. It's but natural for them to look back to brighter days. And maybe looking back also reminds them of what a good relationship should be. Maybe here, the reason why it was not accepted was that because it is a love that is conditional, maybe. A love that did not satisfy the person. A love that a person is disappointed from. I guess you get disappointed when love is unequally given. You get disappointed when you are expecting something from those who are giving the love. And somehow here, there are already 2 cups that they couldn't see. And so in the moment of despair, they end up looking back in reverie to the good old days. And maybe there's something we can learn to this one. If, for example, you are right now reading this card and you are in a similar situation wherein you are not satisfied with the relationship that you have, it's time for us to reflect, look inside what is happening to our relationship right now. Is it a relationship that is equally giving, where both are capable of giving unconditional love? Or is it a love wherein you are going into because you want your cup to be filled, and the other person is also wanting that their cup will be filled? Or is it a relationship wherein you are not giving equally? One is giving more than the other, and the other is taking more, and the other feels drained, as if it's not equal. So it's like that. Here, looking back on this one, this reverie, it reminds us of the kind of love that we should choose. A love where one is very generous in giving and the other is very gracious in receiving, but at the same time you see that the love that is giving is reciprocated, appreciated by the person, and somehow there's an unconditional giving. And when you look at it, there's still a lot of cups to be given. So it means that the love that this person has is overflowing. Even if he gives his cup, there's still a lot of cups that are filled. And so it's an overflowing supply of love. I mean, the person does not feel drained. The person does not feel shortchanged. His cup is also overflowing. So somehow it is related to the relationship in the card of the Lovers, wherein the woman is looking at the divine, and somehow her love is constantly overflowing because of her relationship with the divine. And somehow it is the same here also. it is very good to enter into a loving relationship where your cup is overflowing and you do not expect your cup to be filled. So whether the love is there or the love is not there, you will not feel shortchanged. You will not be filled with sorrow, because you can be happy whether you receive love or not. And maybe this is the invitation right now, to have our cup overflowing, and the source of that overflowing love is the relationship with the divine. And somehow it's a person, no, they say this is a cup of looking back to the good old days when you were young, and love is sweet, and love is given freely, and love is you're not expecting return. Your joy is seeing that the love you gave is being appreciated and happily received. This is the, and you know that if you give that love, it will be returned to you equally. So there is this pureness of relationship, and the white flower also shows the pureness of intention. There is not the self-serving kind of love, where one expects to get something from the other. It's something that is just giving. It's love that is freely shared and freely accepted. So I guess this is a reflection for today, no? When it's looking back to the possibilities, no? Uh, it's as if that the person is undergoing a certain point of transformation right now, after what happened to her in the fifth card, or him. We don't know if this is the person, the guy who was uh, considering the cup, or it could be the one who was giving the cup, the female energy. We do not know, no, but this is a person in sorrow, and this person who is in sorrow is undergoing transformation. The person is undergoing reflection, looking back to the better days, making them realize the difference between the low a relationship with a low exchange of energy, or a relationship that has a high form of energy relationship. So when you look at it, no, this person is in the process of undergoing transformation, and the gray sky is in contrast with the bright blue sky, and the shiny and the sunny courtyard. No, when you look at it, no, and this is with a lot of vegetations here. No vegetation at all. So it's the person is reflecting on these two, and maybe hopefully the person is undergoing a lesson, and hopefully the person who is also watching this video is undergoing transformation and realizing the difference between giving love unconditionally and receiving love unconditionally, than in having a codependent relationship, or a relationship that is more ruled by selfishness and more ruled by self-service, rather than really uh, entering into a loving relationship with the intention of being united to each other, and together you are finding union with the divine. So there is this contrast of two kinds of relationship, and this is a beautiful moment for reflection for you who might be reading it, and for those who are trying to learn also the card. No, the card really can speak a lot of things to you, and if it makes you wonder, like for example, why do you put plants on a cup? And it's a good thing. I mean, when you start to ask questions like that, you are already interacting with the card, and you are getting to know the card. And I think that's the most important thing of learning about the tarot. You get to become intimately related to the card. You tend to talk with the card. You tend to have a relationship with the card, and that is the most important thing. Because if you are more relying on your relationship with the card, instead of what is being said by other people about the card, then you develop a deeper relationship with the card, and it is easier for you to guide other people on their way, because the card becomes your partner in helping other people in their journey. So this is the end of part 1. We now go to part 2 of the Six of Cups. Welcome to part 2 of our one card spread series, and our card for today is the Six of Cups. Let us now read from the Booklet of Tarot of A.E. Waite from AGM Urania. Okay, Six of Cups. Many find this card a little strange. In a cozy village, a figure dressed in bright red and blue hands a cup with flowers to a child who appears overdressed for the spring day. The whole thing may remind us of a fairy tale, in other words, a child's fantasy. The usual way people see this card is nostalgia, which is to say, a memory of a happier time. But is it memory or fantasy? Often, nostalgia glosses over the more painful aspects of past experience to create just that fairy tale fantasy of a past that never was. Danger comes when we don't realize it's a fantasy and try to avoid challenges by escaping into a past that never was. In the idea of cups, the struggle to create a new world nostalgia can mean a look back at the old, a retreat into rosy memories after the failure shown in the five. Divinatory meanings: nostalgia, looking backwards, rosy memories. Warning, advice, a more honest look at the past, moving towards the future. Action, a time to look back on the past rather than try to move forward. Well, this concludes part 2 of our one card spread series on the Six of Cups. I hope it has been a fruitful experience for all of you. Until next time, have a great day.